All right, John Hawkins is next, knowing when to say when. Ready?
Fire away.
All right, say when.
So hey, I'm John, and I'm going to be reading from my notes because I actually built this project today. So I run a little web development company here in town, and I'm running into a problem that a lot of small business folks have run into before, which is no money. When I left my full-time job a few years ago, something really weird happened. Those bastards stopped sending me checks. So I started using a word that really started to get me in trouble, and I was using it all the time. Yes, I would say yes to literally anything that, it seems like such an easy word, right? Like, hey, can you do this for me? Yes. It sounds so nice, right? But the problem is, you start saying yes to absolutely everything. And what I was running into is I would say yes to working on any project of any site. Yeah, I'm a web developer. Oh, sure, I'll help you with your email, and I'll help you with this, that, the other. And it's really a really bad word, that yes word, very scary, because what ends up happening is your plate just kind of explodes. And like anything, when you get too much of anything, it's almost impossible to kind of keep everything straight. And so another word that started creeping up into my vocabulary was stress. I was working night and day, and I think the absolute number one productivity killer, or maybe number two behind YouTube, would be stress. I mean, the more stress that you've got, but during all of this stress, another word kind of really was losing its value. Deadlines. I swear to God, I was passing deadlines like I was racing the Indy 500 and I was winning. So the problem with passing deadlines is that all of those other projects, those deadlines start showing up as well. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story about a project that I had last year. When we first started talking with this particular client, nothing on my radar said, oh my God, don't take on this project. But what happened was we started kind of running a little bit late. And after phase one, the project started to morph into something that I had no idea it was going to. But because I was late on part of phase one, I kind of felt obligated to accept those little changes that he was asking for. And the problem is that becomes a really, really slippery slope. The more times you say yes to that, well, now you've really got a problem because we just kept getting further and further and further behind. So then what happened is it all just starts piling on. And so we were late on phase two, and we were staring at even more work and working more nights and more weekends, trying to get caught up, right? Whatever that is. What I should have done at that point is should have stepped back and hit the pause button. And I should have called the client and said, oh my God, there's all these problems. This thing morphed into something crazy. I've spent way too much time on it. But that's not what happened. And what really kind of happened was I kept at it. And I got to the point where I was losing sleep. I wasn't, my days were like completely non-productive whatsoever. I wasn't getting anything done. Being at my desk was just completely kind of ridiculous. And so I woke up one morning and I just had to call Uncle. I wasn't doing anything right, and all my other clients were suffering too, all because of this one project. So this wasn't really about money, and this wasn't really about trying to save the client. This was really all about self-preservation, sorry. So I picked up the phone and I called him and I said, dude, sorry, the only thing I can do at this point is I really have to just walk away. We've been months, and I would love to tell you that he was totally cool about it, but not so much. He wasn't quite this pissed. We didn't get into screaming matches, but he wanted me to kind of rework it and still figure out a way to solve the project. But I just got to the point where I knew it was just time to walk away. And I would love to tell you that we walked away on good terms and he'll be a client, but the refund check that I wrote him probably says otherwise. But I noticed something. The next morning, I woke up and I felt like this. It was one of those big weights off of my chest where it was like 1,000 pounds lighter, and the sting of that lost revenue was quickly made better by how quickly I was able to get all my other stuff caught up and get back into working. So I'm not saying that this is the solution for any time a project goes south, but at the end of the day, we are all absolutely human, and sometimes shit just happens, and you really just have to know when to say when. And sometimes it's okay to just walk away from business and self-preservation. Thank you.